Hey folks, welcome back. Welcome back. This video was a long time coming, it feels like. If you've been following along, you will have seen that I started a blueprint build that was with this with this second AR that I've been working on. So I had to send the barrel out to get pin and welded. If you remember that the the barrel length was not long enough to meet standard. It wasn't 16 inches. Was my problem. Not really a problem, just how I set this one up. So the barrel is back. If you can, you can barely see where he did the pin. There's just a slight little mark where he covered the weld. He put a little paint on there, and it looks absolutely fabulous. So, I'm real excited with it. 16 and a half is where my length came in. 16 and just under a half. A little bit bigger than 16 and 3/8, but a little smaller than 16 and a half, I guess 7/16, whatever. So today I want to assemble this, at least get this barrel and this upper, and see if I can get this project a little further along. The tech spec or the torque specs for this, and you should always check, because they're going to be a little bit different on each one. Standard is 30 to 80 pounds, but certainly double check your specs on your upper and your barrel nut to verify that. I'm just putting a little grease on these threads here for this upper. This is just regular, heavy duty grease. I get it from AutoZone or Advance or wherever I get this from. It's just basic grease, nothing fancy. I don't want this to seize on here, but I don't want to use anti-seize. I considered it, but grease works, and again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So torque spec on this is 30 to 80, like I was saying. So what I'm going to do, if you've ever built an engine, so this is getting deep into the gearhead kind of territory, but if you've ever built an engine and you torque down your cylinder heads, there's going to be some stretching in your bolts, and it's just the metal is stretching. It's a common thing, within, when you're bolting stuff together, there's going to be a little stretch in the metal, and it's to be expected. I know it's not standard procedure in the gun tube world to even give any consideration to metal stretching, but it does stretch. I know I've seen a couple of videos, watching on Brownell's channel, Caleb, who he does a great job. He explains everything. I really like watching his channel. He's said on multiple occasions that you want to torque, back off a little bit, re-torque, back off a little bit, re-torque, just to make sure it's seated real good. And really, what that's doing is stretching the metal to make sure it's seated really good. And that over time, and because there's a lot of pressure in here, this is your chamber, where the rounds are actually going to go off. So this is going to be your biggest stress point of heat and any type of fatigue that the metal is going to feel. So you definitely want, everything. The barrel nut is going to stretch a little bit as the threads kind of seat in. So I'm going to do the same thing. The torque specs on this are 30 to 80. So we're going to start at 30, and then I'll come up maybe to 31 or 32, depending on, how my gas tube lines up. I don't know if it's going to be a factor with the way this, I've never put one of these type together. It I had to get a special wrench for it. the special tool. So everything's a really tight fit. Normally I would just use the regular wrench, but this is a special barrel nut for this upper, this being the Aero Precision. So I put a little grease on the threads. As this is torquing down, I don't want any unnecessary resistance from the metal, coming together. So I'll put a little lubrication on there. I'll do the same thing on the shoulder as well as the surface of the locking ring here. So as this is tightening up, I'm not getting any, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? Seizing, in here. This real good smooth. So it just takes a little bit of time, to get everything. You don't want to over excessive amount of grease, because again, as this, eventually fires, it's going to build heat. This is not high temperature grease or like brake grease or anything. It's just regular, heavy duty grease. It's nothing fancy. I'm sure they make, a better grease for the job. But again, this is like, $6 or whatever, and it lasts forever. So I've been using it. I haven't had any issues other than, the times where I did put a little too much on. Once everything starts to heat up and then cool back down again, you get that gumminess that's hard. It's a pain in the ass to clean off. So I've learned to use a little bit less, just enough to get the job done, no more, no less. So, once I get that on there now, just to make sure that I'm, I have it on both the nut and the sleeve there. So we'll get this put in here. In fact, I'm going to there it is, seated in pretty nice. I'm going to grab the gas tube real quick, and just to kind of see, I don't think, yeah, see, that's a nice smooth. You put a little lubrication on there and it just goes together so much nicer. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab the gas tube from over here on my parts pile and just do a dry fit, before I start torquing this down. I don't want to torque it all the way down and then realize that there's an issue and have to take it back apart. So yeah, see, I knew that. I wasn't going to have enough space in there. Oh, I got it. Okay. So there it is. I will be able to get it on without any issues. Doesn't really touch. Okay. That's all I really wanted to do, was make sure that I could get this, in its spot. Once I got this together lengthwise, I didn't want to have to pull all this apart, insert this, and then slide everything up in there at once. So that works out pretty good. So we'll wait to put that on. We'll get this. I already got my torque wrench set at 30. Okay. There's 30. There's 35. Let's see where we're at here. There's 40. That's good. All right, it clicked at 40. All right, so there we go at 40 psi on our barrel nut. So next we have our gas tube. Get our pin started. Now we got our pin stuck. So all I did was stick this in and give it a little wiggle back and forth, just align the gas tube up with the little groove that's in it that the pin rides in, and then drive the pin in. There we go. There's our gas tube installed. Our pin is in. And that is our upper, I believe. Really boogered that. Yeah, that wrench really boogered that barrel nut up. That kind of sucks. Let's go back to our box of parts and see what else we got in here. We're going to need a charging handle. We're going to need a dust cover. We're going to need our hand guard. Going to need our foregrip. Going to need our bolt. We need our forward assist. That should be everything. The bolt is pre-assembled and our gas key is anchored and keyed, so, or staked, so we don't have to worry too much about that. This is a Palmetto State Armory bolt. I think it was about $50 or $60. Wasn't hateful. Let's see if we can get this forward assist in there. It's an Allen key. That's cool. That's cool. So now we don't need to use our pin. It's all very nice. Doesn't have to come all the way out. Make sure we're lined up straight. You can feel when you put this in, you can feel it slide into the groove. It's pretty basic. There's a ton of videos out there that show. Let's get that locked down real good. Functionality, check. This is probably one of my more boring videos. I probably should have just put this together and showed it to you at the end. It's alright. Some of you guys like hanging out with me, I guess. Or maybe you don't. This is the Magpul Enhanced dust cover. Ejection port cover, whatever you want to call it. It's a dust cover. It's polymer. It's not your standard, your standard, metal. So this is the first time I've used, one like this. So we'll see how it does. It's pretty basic. You see, it's spring loaded. You don't have to fiddle with the spring and trying to get the guide pin in. You just kind of turn this to get it off that tab, and it pushes right in, and then once it goes into place, it locks back in. So hope it pops into place. There it is. Not as springy as a metal one, but does the job. Not as springy as a metal one. I gotta wait till I get it together to get it apart because it's pretty tight. So pretty clean look. I like it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Okay, so I guess we can do handguard now. This is the Magpul, I believe, or maybe this isn't a Magpul. This is a Air Precision, I believe, handguard. It kind of matches the really? There it is. Yeah. It sort of matches the, I gotta stick this down. I gotta tighten this up. I did not tighten the gas block unless the gunsmith did it for me. I don't know, he didn't mention it. It's American. Never saw that coming. Here's metric. Oh, that's because it's a Torx. It's not even a Allen key. It's a Torx key. It's probably not this one. That's for the trigger. All right, Torx key. Where are we at here? Really? Third time's the charm? No, second time was the charm. Oh, he did tighten it up. It was pretty tight. Not really tight enough. We'll give it a little bit. Just to be sure. Alright, so now that's an Allen key. What are we stuck on? What are we stuck on? That's tight. That's real tight. It's going to have to go back in the vise block. Doesn't break that dust cover, because that sucks. Ooh. Oh, that's a good snug fit. They were not joking around with that barrel nut. The rag. All right. Get that lined up. Let's see what we have in here that we can tap with. There we go. I recommend you not do this at home. All right, I got it. And there it is. We're on pretty good. Just to be sure. And we're sure. We're lined up down the rail. Happy with it. There's probably a torque setting on every nut and bolt on these. In fact, if you look through the paperwork for all of the different pieces, they probably recommend torque specs, but think about what it is that you're torquing here. As tight as it was to go on You know, it's probably measured in inch pounds. You know, I don't really know off the top of my head. Been turning wrenches a long time, so I think we're just going to go by feel of what feels good without stressing the bolts and breaking them. Really not putting a lot of pressure on there. I know it seems like it, but I'm not. I'm just bringing it up snug, a little bit at a time on each one until they both feel pretty snug. And that should be sufficient. We'll check it. Yep. After some rounds get through it, you know, I'll certainly check it to make sure that, you know, everything is still tight. Okay. Next is our bolt and charging handle. It has directions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm gonna put my back to you, as I was told I can't do this with you watching. Woohoo! That front pin's tight. All right, functionality. There's our vice block here. Get it in there. Okay, there it is. We have functionality. It's a little bit tight. I didn't put any lube on the bolt carrier. You know, this is the initial assembly. So, and last but not least, well, that's interesting. Okay, aesthetically, I got the look I was going for, but with the handguard on, I can't tighten this barrel shroud, this gas deflector, other than by hand. That's a problem. So, do we take the handguard off? Do we take a chance that that is definitely not that? You know, I mean, aesthetically, that's the look I was going for. And I wanted the gas deflector to be just outside of the muzzle device, and I wanted the handguard to extrude past, you know, the back side of the. Okay, yeah, that's all pretty good. I didn't want a space between the back side of the gas deflector, and which would have given me something along those lines, you know, with that little space between there. I had that issue on the last build, which is what I actually bought this for, but it did not it did not aesthetically look the way I had planned, so I changed it out. Let's see if we can cheat this handguard off. Ooh. Okay, it wasn't too bad. I think we're going to put a little grease on there to make that job easier. Let's see if this works on this, which it's not really made for it. I think we're going to need some channel locks. I don't think I have any down here. I do not. Probably should check the gas tube. I think it's one of these. It's going to be very tight. Oops. It's probably this one. This is the one I left laying on the bench. It's got an extra pin in there. Oh yeah. That would be the one. More than likely not going to get. Alright, we're closed. We're going to go one full turn as a preset. We'll tune it later when we get to the range. Let me grab a set of channel locks. Just sit tight, folks. Toolbox isn't far away. Alright, channel locks. That's enough. Just enough to snug it up. We're going to put some grease on this bad boy, because once that heats up, that metal will be all over that. And that will be very hard to get apart another day. Oh, that's much better. Should have done that in the first place. Should have just done that in the first place. Maybe we're going to put a little lube on the screw, just to try to protect that metal somewhat. People are probably going to blow me up in the comments about where I put grease. You take enough things apart and you learn real quick what you like and what you don't like when it comes to bolts that won't come out, metal that won't come apart because it's seized. You start breaking bolts, stripping nuts. It's no fun. I'd rather tighten something down 15 times throughout its life than have to cut it off with a grinder once. So just get these nice and snug. All right, it looks good, feels good. Probably quite a few inch-pounds. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now we have our forward grip. Convenient how everything comes with its own Allen wrench, but at the end of the day, when you have have to get something out of your toolbox and you're not sure what size it is, you open up the Allen wrench drawer and there's 8 million Allen wrenches in there and none of them have sizes written on them. That's kind of a pain in the ass. All right, forwards. We can put this either way. It really just comes down to preference. Of course, it's going to be right underneath the gas block. That sucks. Of course, it's going to be underneath the gas block. Where else would it have been? There we go. So hateful. And I can still get to the gas block through this. Well, there's closed. Bring it around one turn. We're open. All right, coming along nicely. Taking forever, but coming along nicely. It's all right, we're not in any hurry here. Taking our time, making sure that everything fits together the way it should. Here's our pin for our forward assist. And then our pin for our gas tube extra, I suppose. Now, let's see if we can get this on. Not sure if there's an on button. There it is. That's interesting. Technically no on off button. Not very bright. There it is. Just got this. Oh, there we go. Now we're in business. Let's see where we're at. Okay. I'd like to go a little forward if I could. Not too much. Too much. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Right above the ejection port. Of course, that's where it landed. Of course, that's where it landed. This is the Hollow Sun HE510CGR. It's a green dot. I did not do a video on this. I did show it in another video, but here we go. The 510G is green dot. I don't know if I have astigmatism or not, but I know my eye picks up green better than it picks up the red. I don't know why. It's always been that way. I've never been told I have astigmatism. What size is that? That's a star point. Torx. Of course, 18 different sizes of stuff. This is pretty simple. It just has a quick lock. Tighten the screw. There we go. Nice and tight. It's got little, you can feel it when you turn here. It's got little clicks where it clicks into place. Right there it is. I can go a little more than that. Okay. There it is. There is my Blueprint semi-budget AR. Happy with it. All black. Nothing fancy. Air Precision upper. Been lapped. Anderson lower. Nothing fancy. Drop-in single stage trigger. Basically everything else is mil spec. Standard. 14.5-inch barrel. I did add the gas deflector. You know, I think it's a little bit better aesthetically. I don't know. I pictured this in my head, and I liked it. So there it is. All together. I know it was a long time waiting. Okay. Everything functions. I'm happy with it. It'll be good to get it out into the range and see exactly what it is going to do. I know I'm excited for that. I'd say right around $1,000. I have to do the math. I'm not real sure 100%, but I know when I first started this video series, you know, I was a little more versed on the pricing. Yeah, we'll see if the enhanced dust cover from Magpul does the job and stands up. So, but for now, there it is. Locks backwards, but you get the idea. All right, YouTube, there it is, all wrapped up. I still got to get a sling for it. I forgot about that. So I'll look around, see what I like. Not sure what I want to put on it. You know, it's got definitely, you know, it's got sling points. So I'll have to put something up here. I know I've seen them online. I think, what's the website? Tactical Toolbox. Jonathan over there, he uses them a lot, I believe. And they sell, you know, attachments. I can get, you know, a QD point for this. So we'll see. Still a little bit of ways to go, but at least it's together. It functions as far as I know. I'm fairly happy with it, and we'll see what it does on the range. For now, keep your head on a swivel, and we'll see you in the next one.